Hi, baby.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, baby daddy.
Hi, mommy daddy.
Hi, mommy. I'm good. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Tie-ties?
I'm tie-tie.
I can tell you're tired because I didn't even ask you how you are, and you said, I'm good, I'm tired.
I'm good, I'm tired. Yeah, I don't know if it's like the heat or what. Burbank had like a little art walk thing that's super cute, so cute, and it was really fun. Ziggy enjoyed it. We all had my whole family went. It was really fun, but we were all like, it's hot outside, gang.
It was.
It's hot.
It was hot.
And it kind of takes it.
I was tie-ties today too. I almost fell asleep after my meditation, my evening meditation.
My last two, I thought of you. My last two meditations have been frustrating because my soul dog, who I love more than life itself, I need to stop putting her on the bed with me.
Oh,
she yesterday was
chipping on that paw.
No, excuse me. Yesterday it was worse. She barked at me, shook me out, and I was like, I can't. No, I'm done.
Archie will do that. He'll want to play. He'll be like,
I was like,
I'm just like,
I was like, well, you're still in the 2 days like a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Ziggy's schedule, I have not yet found the 2 day yet. And I literally thought yesterday, like, God, I missed the 2 day. So that is a goal to get back to. But today she didn't bark, but she was having a little morning appetites on those paws.
She's gotta.
And about 15 minutes in, it was like, enough, I'm out. I couldn't. And then I couldn't get back into it because then it was like, Ziggy was coming home. It was just like one of those where I was like, all right. So that also left me in a bit of a poopy mood. But I had a great one the other day, and I was like, great, or I fell asleep. We don't know.
Both.
We don't know.
Porque no los dos.
Both.
What do we?
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I have tie-ties today, but then I did a hike with Sev later in the day. It was nice.
Oh, a later in the day hike is especially in this heat.
It was toasty.
Was it crazy? Yeah.
It was okay. But it was good. Things been good. Good week.
Good. Went fast. This week went fast.
It did go fast. It did. Very fast paced. But you know what? I'm thankful I don't work in a very fast paced industry like the industry that's explored in today's movie that we're gonna do. By the way, welcome to Script Daddy.
Welcome to Script Daddy. Ooh.
I'm your host, Colin.
I'm your host, Carly.
And here at Script Daddy, we read scripts, watch the movies, and discuss the difference between script and screen. And apparently we're scatting.
You never know what to expect here at Script Daddy.
Script Daddy, sorry,
add that to our resume.
Yeah, multi-hyphenate.
Yeah.
To give the Script Babies a little hint of what we're doing today, I'm actually wearing a pair of shoes that will reference the title I've had for quite some time.
They really are stunning.
They are by the brand Prada. So
they're gorgeous.
I wonder what movie we could be doing. I've had these since probably like 2014 or 15.
They look brand new.
Yeah, they're actually a little scuffed right now, but I tend to polish them and stuff. I keep them in good condition because they're my only piece of Prada that I don't own it. It was given to me as a gift.
The only Prada I quote unquote own is what your brother gave me.
Oh my God! If only it was cold in here, you could have worn it.
I thought about it. I was like, but imagine me wearing that gorgeous thick coat in here.
You'd be sweating your little balls off.
I'd be a puddle. a puddle. I already was like, it's actually not as bad in here, like heat wise.
It's not
in the studio right now, but
the stewed
in the stew. Here at Script Daddy, when we're in the studio, it's game time.
Because we're in the studio now. We got out of our parents' basement.
It's true.
From season 1.
We're not basement people
We weren't
anymore.
actually in a basement, but Carly calls us basement people.
Every time I see a clip from season 1, I'm like,
we have never addressed this. And
we need to.
Let this be our formal apology.
Let the record show.
We weren't thinking when we were filming season 1. We were using front-facing cameras. Ooh. And that's why we look crazy. I wasn't thinking that I was like, obviously it was going to be used for socials, but my hair looks absolutely insane. Everything was insane.
First off,
looking.
You're a gorgeous, gorgeous girl.
We're both gorgeous,
and
gorgeous
so
girls.
It can only get so bad. But that being said, we are basement people in those clips. Like I'm like, who opened the door and threw us food and shut it real quick is like the feeling I get. Like
no
panic.
One did. No one did. We had
no
to
one did.
scrounge in the cracks and
It's just
crevices.
like it's dark, it's
any
scary,
piece
it's a
of
lot.
food.
But to be fair, we really put like the sound quality at the top, as you should with a podcast.
Period.
But dear God,
Yeah.
those visuals are. I'm gonna have to work to forget those for a while, but that's
Truly.
okay because every season it just gets better and better, much like life.
and
So. To get back to these gorgeous Prada shoes, it might have something to do with the little movie called The Devil Wears Prada, which, by the way, is a great title.
Yeah, I was thinking that in the car today. I
Yeah.
was like, what a fucking fabulous title. Like,
You know
it
me.
is
I
perfect.
love a good title, and that's
It is
a good title.
great title.
It really
Also,
is.
I was wondering, like, because Sev was like, did Prada let them license their name like that? I was like, clearly, I don't know if they had to like pay to license it or not.
Oh,
but
that's
isn't
because
that
it is a
interesting?
book, so I'm curious.
It is a book. Yeah.
That probably was that is interesting. I
would
don't know.
imagine. So, what an iconic movie.
What an iconic movie. I will say, not to get ahead of myself here,
Oh.
but I really was surprised that I felt differently about it this time than I ever have.
Yeah.
I have seen this movie quite a few times. I want to say at least 3, if not more.
Oh, I've seen it definitely more than that.
I might be more than 3. I'm saying 3. It might be more like 4 or 5, but I don't know how many, but I will say it was hard to forget that I know this movie so well reading the script. I'm going to own that right now because it was like I so know who everyone was that like
it was really easy to see the changes though.
Really easy to see the changes because
my
of
notes
that.
are a little different because of that.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like a crazy amount of. Well, I do have notes, but they're like they're different.
Yeah, I'm like referencing what the changes are as I was reading the script. It's different. Well, you'll see, Script Daddies. You'll see.
We'll see. Because like there's more like there's some stuff I actually like want to like actually talk about with you versus just like notes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
agreed.
Let's get into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
The
Give
movie,
us the stats.
The Devil Wears Prada, 2006.
Dude,
Girl.
crazy.
What?
Yeah, I was 17. I remember seeing that in theaters with my friends in high school.
Really?
In Ventura County, California.
Press. I always forget you live there. The logline is with an aspiration to become a journalist, Andy is smart but sensible young graduate, travels to New York. She starts working as an assistant to one of the city's biggest high fashion magazine editors, the cynical Miranda Priestley.
Is this a logline or is this a fucking short story?
I'm telling you, I want to know who writes these at IMDb because they cannot be the real ones, and
This can't be it. No one.
But let me also say, I don't. At this point in my life, take joy in writing log lines. Colin is very good at log lines. I just want to put that out there.
I am good at long lines.
I am not the best at them, but I will also own that I don't love them. So I've never really, I need to like put different energy around them.
I love the challenge of boiling down a story
and
into
you're
like
so
2 or 3
good
sentences.
At it. So I think IMDb, no offense to whoever's doing it, but I think that they should hire you.
No offense, but they should be hung. Drawn and quartered. Yep, boiled.
Someone had to say it.
Boiled in oil. Fried, if you will. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Starring, here's how you know I've seen this movie a lot. This is the first time where I didn't even look at what the IMDb said. I'm like, Meryl fucking Streep and fucking Hathaway.
The goddamn Meryl Streep.
We're going to have
the Streeper strikes again. I'm sorry.
I want a shirt that says that.
She's
everything. You couldn't ask for more in an actor.
Of her.
You can't.
She's so good. I have specific things here that where I want to talk about their looks because Script Babies, that we love eye acting, and some people are just so good at it. The Ryan Gosling School of Acting, Meryl Streep School of Acting. Like, bitch, are you kidding me?
She is in a league of her own, and yet she's also in the league of like those like handful of actors where you're like, I couldn't ask for more from her.
No.
She always gives more than you can even imagine.
She takes a character to the next fucking level.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
She was just put on this earth for that. It's
truly
insane. I'm so in awe of her.
So beautiful. It always
my God.
It blows my mind when you hear stories about when she was like younger trying to get into the industry and how people were saying she wasn't beautiful. And I'm like, do you need fucking glasses?
Stunning.
She is stunning.
So goddamn chic.
Also,
as Miranda
you know what
Priestley.
was crazy was I had a moment, specifically one of the last shots of the film for this movie, where she gives that like look, where I saw all of a sudden I saw her in Death Becomes Her.
Oh, period.
And I was like, she looks incredible. But it was kind of beautiful to be like, oh, look how much time had passed between those.
Yeah.
And that she's just like and she was literally perfect in that film, but that she just is
like a fine fucking woman.
Oh my God,
truly.
I can't. Also starring Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci. The
And
Tucci.
a sweet little baby, Emily Blunt.
Girl. I mean, the breakout role of all breakout roles for her. She was made for that character.
She really was.
She brought that character to fucking life.
She truly did.
Took it to another level.
I was with my family before we did this, and I told them we were doing it, and my dad was like, "I always forget that's Emily Blunt." I'm like, "Yeah, because you almost do, because it's like it's weird.
She just is Emily, that character. I don't care if she's gonna beat you with a red hot poker, like hot poker.
The choice for her eyeshadow, also, I'm like,
she looks so insane. Her looks are nuts.
Wild,
nuts.
That is one of the things I thought was funny. That
she looks like bright green eyeshadow at one point. I'm like,
oh yeah,
dear God.
And then like towards the end, it's like bright blue, crazy.
Yeah.
The director was David Frankel. Okay, so the screenwriters gets a little odd. On the actual script, it says that the screenplay was written by Peter Hedges, but he is not listed on IMDb or in the film.
Yeah.
So on the script, it says Aline Brosh McKenna is the screenwriter. It says that both on the film and on IMDb, but on the script, it says like latest revisions by her. So I'm assuming she did enough. She changed enough that she then just became the name.
I guess so. But then, so on the title page, it says The Devil Wears Prada, screenplay by Peter Hedges, revisions by Howard Michael Gould, Paul Rudnick, Don Ruse. Then it says current revisions by Eileen Brosh McKenna, March 10th, 2005. But then the other credited writer on IMDb isn't even on this title page. So I don't know if she's came in.
She's the writer of the book.
Pee-wee,
Lauren Weisberger is the writer of the book. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So it's a little confusing. I feel like she must have edited enough that they then gave it to her.
Yes, I need to know who took it from the version that we read to the movie, because there's not the widest gap.
No,
but there's a gap.
There is a gap, but I honestly less of a gap than I think I was actually imagining, to be honest.
Yeah, no, everything's there. It's just kind of resituated and it's polished.
Everything's there. It's resituated and polished. That's absolutely spot on.
God, I'm excited to actually get it. Now I'm really excited to get into this.
Me too. The budget.
What was the budget?
Am I saying everything weird? The budget was $41 million.
That makes sense because Meryl Streep is Meryl the Streep. Duh. Right. And like this is, I mean, Anne Hathaway was already a star from Princess Diaries, but I feel like this is what cemented her as like A-list, like leading lady.
And you know what needs to be said?
What?
Anne Hathaway is a fucking great actor.
She is.
And people get so wild about her. She really ate this role up.
She did. For me, I like Anne Hathaway, but I can always tell Anne Hathaway is acting.
Oh, interesting.
Like, she's good, but I'm like, oh yeah, you're acting. Like,
she's so
Meryl
watchable.
Streep is like, she.
Oh,
You don't see Meryl Streep.
No.
But again, you can't really compare someone to a Meryl Streep.
Right.
But yeah, no, Anne Hathaway is undoubtedly a great actor.
And she's so watchable, and there's something to be said for that.
Fucking
Do you know what I mean?
Gorgeous.
There's different types of stars for different types of reasons and all of that. Like, there are people like, you know, who it's like a Meryl, where you're like, you're feasting on, it's like they're operating on like a different planet.
Yes.
And then you've got other people that are just like so watchable, and their greatness comes through.
Good actor. She is a star. Yeah. She's undoubtedly a star.
And I forgot how much I liked her in this film, because
she's kind of the perfect dandy.
I think a lot of people could have played this role, and it really would have been insufferable, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Because there's some tropiness that goes on.
If they had played her how she was on the page, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I couldn't have watched the movie that we read. If it was verbatim, I couldn't have watched it.
She grounded it in a way that made it more. Yeah, you were able to enjoy it more, without a doubt.
Totally, and you really do root for Andy.
You do.
You do.
To the point where I found myself making excuses for her. There's so many. I
can't. Okay, yeah, now because I have things to say about the network around her. Anyway,
that's my biggest note. So of course,
it is a big sigh.
Nate is the villain.
Fucking asshole.
Anyway.
This is not an original take. Other people have talked about this, but dear fucking
But no, we're going to get into it.
All of her fuck-ass friends.
We're going to get into it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it.
The gross was $326.7 million worldwide.
I mean,
gorgeous girl.
It's a great movie.
Okay, what was your Script Daddy screenplay?
Is there trivs?
Oh yeah, sorry, I put that above it for some reason. Okay, so there was like quite a bit. I tried to just pick some of the more interesting stuff. Despite multiple fashion designer loans, Patricia Field spent more than $1 million on costuming, making it the most expensively costumed film in history.
That makes sense. Field
received her sole Oscar nomination for her work on this film. But
Soul.
isn't that crazy
Okay, wow.
when you think about like movies that are like period pieces that this is still the most expensive?
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
crazy.
mean, they must wear an all actual designer.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they couldn't have gotten it loaned.
But it
that she must
says
have bought it.
despite multiple fashion designer
right.
loans. So
Damn.
she must have just had a vision.
Hell yeah.
Anna Wintour, the editor of Vogue. I mean, I don't even need to say that, but I hope I don't. And the inspiration for Miranda Priestley was not invited to the premiere. She did, however, attend an advanced screening for press along with her daughter, dressed head to toe in Prada.
Oh, genius.
Wintour's daughter could be heard nudging her throughout the screening, saying they got that right. Although never commenting on it publicly, she reportedly really liked the film despite initial skepticism. Now, obviously, we can't know any of this for sure, but I saw that on two different things.
That right. I want to know what parts.
When your daughter's saying it.
Girl.
All costumes were sold off at an auction for research for breast cancer.
Aww.
Anne Hathaway bought the green dress her character gets to wear.
I'm guessing the one with the belt where she's painting that one's like kind of an army green.
Oh, maybe.
With like the buttons around the decolletage.
Oh, yeah. The one item Meryl kept was her sunglasses, which she used again as Donna during the famous money scene in 2008's Mamma Mia. That's fun.
Oh, funny.
I love that.
That is.
During the first table read, everyone expected Streep to say her first lines in a loud, commanding voice. Instead, she spoke in an extremely low, measured tone, forcing everyone to lean in to hear what she was saying. Genius. It instantly captured Miranda's nature. She is the center of the universe, and everything is pulled to her. So Streep used that volume throughout the entire film. Again, a genius. She's
played
a genius.
It back-footed. Like the one, I'm going to get a little bit ahead of myself for a second, but the line where she says, I said, take a chance, hire the smart fat girl. The way she says fat girl, it's like she throws it away, and it's more devastating than if she had been like really exactly.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
like ooh.
Also the references to weight, and they crank it up in the movie. They make like 3 comments in the script. The movie, it's like every chance they get, they're commenting on it.
And the script also does make a point to, this is one of my notes, that it makes a point to say that Andy is not fat. Because I was wondering.
I also was wondering about that.
Like we were supposed to take it seriously or like to show that this is ridiculous. And it is ultimately to say it's ridiculous, but they, in classic 2006 style, really go there.
It
for
feels
a size
like they
6.
ignored that aspect of the script, because the script really does let you know, hey, we don't actually think she's fat. We're just showing you how crazy this industry is. The movie, I think, actually might, when they cheers, when he says, your size 6 Ash or whatever, and she's like, I'm a 4, and they cheers, I was like, oh boy.
It's a lot.
And lastly, for the sweater speech, which we're going to talk about. Oh boy.
Yes, the sweater.
We're going to talk about it.
Oh,
but it says they realized that Miranda would not just say blue, but rather pick an exact shade, which is 100% true. Mm-hmm. They sent a list of shades to Meryl Streep, and she picked cerulean as the one to be used. So that's the trivia.
Period.
All right. What is your script daddy for the screenplay score?
My script score is 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pray tell.
So this is what I wrote after I read it. The script was a huge surprise to me, but not for the right reasons. Ultimately, the script lacks any sense of style, and that lends to the storytelling skewing more shallow, lackluster, and at times a bit clumsy. Andy is a far more goofy fish out of water on the page, almost a far cry from her out of place, though totally competent and driven version that we see distilled in the film. Furthermore, Miranda isn't as harsh in the script, and she even has moments where she praises people and seems almost tender, like on page 51 when she kisses James Holt on the cheek before recounting his illustrious career, or on page 76 when she mouths thank you to Andy at the benefit dinner after distracting Elton John so she can whisk away her embarrassingly drunk husband. None of that made it to the movie. Ultimately, all the information and setups that we see in the film are there on the page, though largely out of sequence and shown in a way that doesn't ultimately leave much of an impact for me personally.
I get it. I grappled with this a lot, and even right now, I'm kind of changing my mind.
I'll say 6 might be a little low. It's probably more around a 7, but I was not thinking, very impressed. Here was my cross to bear.
I felt like execution style. The execution of the script. Sorry, that's where the tires coming again. The execution of the script I thought was done well in the sense of like it is a well-written script. It does absolutely lack like voice. It doesn't have a strong
doesn't
voice.
have a whole lot of flavor.
Doesn't have a lot of flavor. But that being said, for it being about a world that I don't know that much about, I know more about than like Jaws when we were getting into like boat lore.
Fair.
But that being said, it is a big, crazy world. And I felt like I was able to follow along for something that could have been very, very confusing and a script that could have very easily made you feel like an outsider. The script didn't. And I appreciated that. And I felt like all of the characters were clear enough. But again, I was really struggling to divorce what I knew
I think
in my
that's
head.
probably why my script score is a little bit lower, because as I'm reading it, I know this film so well that like I couldn't divorce myself from it. But it also made it cool because I was like, oh damn, that's not in there. That was changed. And it was really easy to see just how much better the storytelling is in the film. So it's probably a little unfair to give it that low of a score, but that's just where it landed, baby.
I'm like between a 7.6 and a 7.8. And again, that might be, I'm skewing a little too high to be honest, but it was one of those things where like when I was feeling like going lower, I was like, okay, but to be fair, when I looked at the things about it that worked, I was like, the way that I score, it made me go like, I have to give it credit for allowing me into a world I don't know that much about and never really feeling lost by it until the very end when the whole switcheroo happens and Miranda ends up saving herself. But that I still think like they did their best to clarify where like she's going to be losing her job, but then we find out that
the flashback, the intercuts for flashbacks was clunky.
Yeah, that definitely I got a little wheat woo. Yeah, but so
and I forgot they had some flashbacks with that in the film, just shown later. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I skewed up on it, but I felt weird because it was like it wasn't my favorite read, but it was also not a bad script. It just didn't have a lot of voice to it.
And it was a quick read. I read it in like 2.5 hours, which is pretty quick for me. Also, another reason it's a bit lower for me is because for that to be the final draft after 5 writers took a swing at it, my hands are in the air.
That's fair.
But again, it's not bad.
No.
It's not bad.
No.
My assessment seems pretty harsh, but you know.
What is your Script Daddy movie score?
My movie score, which this seems a little low to me, but I don't know why I landed here. 8.7 out of 10.
That's what I originally did, but then I lowered it a little bit.
Okay. Only because of the things that didn't age well and the fact that I hate her friends and her boyfriend. But let me read what I wrote after watching the movie for the umpteenth time. The movie far outdoes the script in every single way. The character dynamics, dialogue, setups, and payoffs are all much more honed and impactful in the movie because they're done with such intention, style, and purpose. They condensed multiple scenes into one, streamlining the exposition in such a way that adds higher stakes and increases drama. The movie places Miranda on an even higher pedestal, emphasizing how she's immovably powerful, frigidly cold, and absolutely terrifying to behold. And it works so much better since she's almost becomes this mythical being everyone is forced to contort themselves around. By heightening the terror she strikes within everyone she crosses, it makes the contrast of Andy stepping into this world so much more stark because she's initially not afraid of her at all. They also made sure to keep emphasizing the seduction of who Andy has to become to be proficient at her job, constantly forcing her to make choices that beg her to consider what she really wants from this. Like when Christian asks her to come back into the gala to meet his editor, but she's already late for Nate's birthday party. There's money moments like that where she's like, what are you going to do right now? Who are you actually at your core? I said, this is another great example of how an okay script can be tweaked and polished into a truly great classic because all the information is assembled in a way that strikes the emotional and dramatic chords much more effectively.
Gorgeously said as always. Yeah, pretty much. I gave it an 8.2.
Period.
Which is a little bit low, but I, like you said, I'm excited to get into specifics, but there were some things that actually, despite the fact that like I've always just been like, oh, it's so iconic and I love this movie.
Yeah.
Putting a like a laser on it made me get a little bit more like, you know what? There's actually some things about this that I don't love.
For sure.
But again, all the other times I watch it, I'm like, oh, it's so fun. It's whatever. But again, with this in mind, the idea of like really getting in there and talking about story and dissecting story and its effectiveness and all of that, my frustration with Nate's character was so much higher. The friends, but also this idea, we're going to probably talk about this in multiple ways, but I was left feeling strange about Andy in the way that I was like, I didn't know what I actually wanted for Andy because it felt like both versions of her life didn't resonate. Like the life she goes back to in the movie, I was like, actually, yes. I'm supposed to be like so happy that you went back to your core and you got bangs. But I'm actually, something feels like you were beaten down by more than just your job. And now you're going like, I'm going back. Like she couldn't admit that there were actual things about it that she did like, whether or not she should have stayed there. I don't think she like, but I just was left feeling a lot more conflicted than I ever remember feeling in a way that like forced me to lower my score because I was like,
fair.
I don't love how I feel. And I think I'm older than the last time I saw it. I'm a mom now. Like I have a career. Like there's just different, I've just experienced more life in a way where I was just like, I feel a little more conflicted about Andy.
I could not agree more.
And the world around her.
Yep. And you know what really sums it up perfectly is at the very end when she meets back up with Nate at that cafe and he's like, I'm moving to Boston. And she's like, I know I changed. I know I shunned my friends and my family and blah, blah, blah. And I don't even know what for. And he goes, for shoes and for bags. And I go, because Seven and I watched it together. I turned to Seven. I said, absolutely fucking not. You did not fucking do that for shoes and stuff. You did that because you know what kind of incredible career you can have if you spend 1 year working for that monster. And you did that because you wanted a fucking amazing career because you wanted to be a journalist and this woman can be your fucking into it. So in the script, we meet the assistant that was Miranda's assistant before. And Miranda loved her so much that she put her into this job as the assistant editor of the fucking New Yorker.
Yeah.
And so Andy sees that that's the aspirational thing. This is the pipeline to that.
Yeah.
And it's direct. It's a fucking hard road, but it's a direct pipeline.
Yep.
And she's ambitious and wants it and she's smart and capable enough to grab it. But then everyone around her is trying to make her feel like she's this piece of shit because God forbid she changes up her style to fit into the office culture that's actively working against her and she's sticking out like a sore fucking thumb. Like, how fucking dare you? Like, to reduce it down to getting bags and shit. Fuck you, Nate. Go make another burnt, disgusting grilled cheese,
But one of my notes was, in the script, they're like, he makes a gorgeous grilled cheese. And I'm like, did we forget that in the film? Because it is dark as night. Yeah. That grilled cheese is dark as night. That is...
burnt as hell. Burnt. Just like him.
No.
Burnt.
I hated him on the page and I hated him in the film and I hated the changes that they made. And that, it bothered me.
And that's on God, Script Babies.
And that's on God. It bothered me because I was like, if this character could have been more dynamic and more interesting and more layered, we could have actually felt the complexities in her, the real complexities. But instead, everyone was such assholes to her that I'm like, by the way, at the end of the film, when she goes to the interview to be a journalist and all that stuff, and they say she worked there for less than a year, I said, your friends and boyfriend can't support you for less than a year?
I didn't even think about that. Yes. Are you fucking kidding me?
You don't have kids.
6 months.
You don't have animals. This is like like you said, this woman. And I do like that they specified that a little bit more in the film, that they really did. I don't like Miranda even says when I'm really jumping ahead, so this will be a 2-second thing.
Yeah, we'll go all over.
But when Miranda essentially says like, you're coming to Paris, and she essentially says, if you don't go,
she gives her an impossible choice.
She doesn't just say you'll lose the job.
You won't work anywhere else in publishing.
You won't work anywhere else in publishing, which was so needed. I was so glad that they added that though, because
he's like, she's like, I didn't have a choice, Nate, and he's like, because you never had a choice. Fuck you.
No, what really?
You don't know the context of it, or if you do, you're just a fucking insufferable asshole.
Well, and also him going, I thought Emily really wanted. Oh, now you care about Emily?
Now you fucking care? Exactly.
Emily, who's only made Andy's job harder the whole time.
Literally.
And also that storyline kind of pissed me off. This idea that we're supposed to feel so bad for Emily when which by the way, of course you feel bad for her, where you're like, she wanted this. They made it so clear with the screensaver and she's always talking about all that stuff. But that being said, Emily is never kind.
And she's
to
not a
Andy.
great assistant.
Not a great assistant. She never goes out of her way to help Andy. There's no introduction to the job, by the way, other than you have to sit your ass down. You can't pee. We got to man the phones. She doesn't teach her how to answer a phone.
Yeah.
There's no introduction to this job. And Emily goes out of her way to not help and yet says, if you get fired, I'm screwed. But that, like, when it comes down, I'm like, of course, I get it. It was shitty and all of that. But that being said, there was a part of me that was like, when Nigel's like, Emily would have done the exact same thing. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
And also, it wasn't just about Emily. It was about her saying, and it bothered me that like when Emily kind of like reads her the riot act in that hospital scene, she's like, you know, you sold your soul. And again, there's some relevance to it. There is. But
they don't hit it hard enough. We don't see Andy's personality change.
No.
We see her put in impossible situations where she has to put herself first. Otherwise, she's not going to fucking have a job. Granted, this is back in a time when you could probably more easily get a job than today. But I kept seeing it from today's perspective where I'm like, you're fucking kidding me? Like, oh, you're just supposed to decide I'm going to fuck myself over so you can go to Paris when you know what this boss does too? Fuck you.
And when you've already done all of these things. Yeah.
Sorry I'm competent and fucking good at this, bitch. Oops. Sorry. Not sorry, actually.
We're getting into it. Getting into it.
It pisses me the fuck off. And also, Lily was all too happy to accept that Marc Jacobs bag. But, oh, you've changed so much when they're at the fucking restaurant. The one time that I do sync up with the friends is when Andy's at the gallery and Christian's coming on to her and kisses her cheek and Lily's like, fuck you. The Andy I know would never do that. That is how I would react as a friend.
Agreed. Other than she's like, you were so in love with Nate. I'm like, I never get the so in love thing from
never
them.
Got it.
But that being said, it doesn't matter. What she did, I would be this. I'd be like, what in the actual fuck are you doing?
Truly.
So agreed. But when I was like, oh yeah, no, on the page I didn't believe they were in love, and in the movie I don't believe they're in love.
No, their chemistry's not great.
But their chemistry's not great, but it's also, I just don't think they invested enough in the dynamic of their relationship.
No, it's not even on the page.
Their bonding point is like sexual attraction, but even then, Nate's a fucking dick. Like he'll be like when she's like,
they don't even show the sex in the movie, really.
No. Which I don't mind.
I don't mind it either.
But it was more just like, I felt like Nate hated her from day one.
Yeah.
He
Nate
never comes
wanted
off
her to
supportive.
fit into the box that he wanted, and the moment that how dare she in her early 20s, experiment with, different choices in her life. But she's going to be fucking drugged and raked across the coals for it. Like, oh, fuck you.
Okay, so now that we got all that out,
yeah,
we're going to go back to the very beginning. A very good word.
My first note is on page 2.
Me too! What is it?
It says, nice description. It says, I like the way
Are we
one
about
thing
to
that
say
I
the
really
same
liked
thing? I'm gonna
was I really
scream.
liked the location descriptions in this movie. Of course, we have the same thing.
Yep.
The way that they describe the lobby of Elias Clark is really nice. It says, interior Elias Clark day. Andy trots into the building, out of breath, and stops, overwhelmed by what she sees. The lobby looms around her. The place is so big, so unto itself. It probably rains in here.
I wrote the exact same
I
thing.
love that.
It probably rains in here. Love it. I will say I agree. A lot of the descriptions for places I wrote that, and then right above it, when she's trying to get to the building, it says Andy busts out of the wrong building and starts to run, but she's moving against the pedestrian tide. We widen out to see Andy bucking the flow of people like a salmon going upstream.
Yeah.
Loved that visual.
I love that too.
So this movie had a lot of that I loved. Like there was quite a few moments where I was like, ooh, love. It wasn't too much. It wasn't like making a meal out of it, but it was just enough to be a little zhuzh. There was a little bit of that.
The opening's different than it is in the movie Script, baby. So in the script, it opens with Andy.
No, it starts with the.
Oh, right. It starts at this chateau where the big dinner for James Holt is happening. Where, if you've seen the movie, at the end where Miranda fucks over Nigel and gives the job that he was going to have as creative director of James Holt's line to Jacqueline Foyer. So it opens with that, with Miranda going up on stage to give her speech. And then there's like a feedback from the microphone. Then that does like a cut into like the screeching of a taxi. And Andy is on her way to the interview at Elias Clark. And it's actually, I liked that she went to the wrong building. So she goes to 57th Street, but then she's supposed to be at West 57th Street. And so then she has to run over there. She's already late.
It's
and she
fun.
like bursts through. And then once she goes into Elias Clark and then she meets with HR. HR is like, we either have Auto Universe or Runway. Which one do you want? She doesn't want to work for a car magazine.
I was a little bummed that they cut. I wish they had kept
liked that
a
context.
2-second. I thought it was weird that they skipped over the human resources of it in the movie, and then they just gave the lines to them to explain it when she's like, when Miranda's like, what are you doing here? But I was like, I will say it did feel like a little, like having read the script and then watching the movie, I get why. It was like they just were cutting time.
You can just jump into it.
But it was strange to go like, why is she going right to Runway when this woman has no interest in it? And then you find out then they're like, she's like, well, HR, like she explains it. But there was a point where I was like, you do for a second go like, yeah, why would a woman be interviewing for Runway? Like,
yeah.
And because in the script, they have a bunch of other women waiting in the lobby and they don't have that.
It's on pages 3 and 4 in the script. I said, I like the simple action and fun energy of this opening, and Emily's character description is fun. So Andy's waiting in this like reception area, and then there's 2 other girls that are there for the job too, which is nice because in the movie, it's kind of like what I always assumed was that they didn't have time to pick a girl, so HR just put someone in the role and she was automatically hired. Obviously, that's not the case because she still does talk to Miranda, and Miranda ultimately gives her the job and like, oh, come back up. You actually got it. But anyway, that's just my own wires getting crossed.
Isn't it a little strange? I had a couple of these too. Now I feel like I'm being way harder on it than I meant to be. But
why?
I don't know. Because it is such an iconic, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to let that go.
It's okay to be hard on it.
It was strange to me that we're talking about like Miranda Priestley and you aren't getting like references for a second assistant. What are you talking about? You're taking a random woman off the street and HR is giving you your people.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be essentially Anna Wintour.
Yeah.
That felt a little crazy.
If they did get references, it's not mentioned, but yeah, it's a little, it's movie.
It's movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's movie.
But so this is what it says. It says, the receptionist points her towards a seating area where there are a few other women waiting, each a tall, thin, dressed to kill fembot. Andy tries to smile at one of them, who looks away. Andy sits. She can hear 2 of the other women chatting softly. Girl 1, I can't believe I'm even in this office. Girl 2, oh, I know, I would murder my best friend to get this job. Andy's trying to arrange herself onto the uncomfortable sofa when suddenly a taller, thinner, and amazingly more groomed version of the women in the room walks in. This is Emily, who looks the part of the sleek fashionista, but is propelled by a core of barely tamped down anxiety.
I wrote it down too. It's so good.
It's good.
So good.
That's a fun character description.
It's a fun character description. I did think page 5 to 7 is like a great...
Shut the fuck up, because my next one is page 5 to 7.
It's a really good tonal intro.
Because... I mean, it's one of the most iconic parts in the movie. So I was really excited to read that little montage of Miranda entering the building.
Although, can I say something again?
Say it.
I didn't want to be this person.
What?
Explain to me, Colin. Mm-hmm. The rest of the film, everybody is ready to go 24/7.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that while this woman has a haircut, everyone relaxed, made a mess, like let their faces go to shit.
You're not wrong.
Now again, movie, but I found myself again. I've seen
never
this
even
movie.
Thought about that.
This is my point. Neither have I. So it feels like a movie that's not meant to be picked and prodded because
you cannot pull the strings.
I literally was watching it this time, and again, Script babies, before you get mad at me, I've seen this movie so many times and I've never had these thoughts. But again, when you're looking at it with more of like a fine-tooth comb, I was like, you're telling me that they're all panicked when she walks in. When she walks in every other time in the film, everyone's ready to go. Yeah. But this time it was like we all let ourselves go to shit while she was going to be at a hair appointment.
Yeah.
And she had no roots, so it could have just been a blow dry.
Well, in the movie, it was a facialist, and her facialist ruptures a disc.
But even further to the point, a facial's an hour, 2 tops. But
yeah, in the script, the drama is that Miranda's hairstylist has the flu.
Yes.
And yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's a very, very good point.
The only point of that is for the movie.
It's just to set up that Miranda is this scary creature and everyone is kind of like, when she comes around and
But
she
don't you
runs
think
a
there's
tight ship.
But don't you think they could have just added a couple lines where it shouldn't have been a facial. It should have been she was out of town.
Yeah, actually, yes. Yeah.
There are ways to still do the exact same set piece.
Even though that sequence is so fast that even if you built in that exposition, you would only notice that and think about it if you did dissect a little bit further, because you don't really have time to think, oh, this doesn't happen again.
You're
it's
totally
just because it's so energetic and you're
right.
so
And
thrown into this world.
It's fun.
It is fun. Also, there's a ton of montages in this movie, but I don't mind it.
I don't either.
They all
In
work.
fact, if I were to say anything to anyone, if you need an example of a movie that actually utilizes montages in a way that benefits a story, it's this film.
That's a good point. I'm going to get ahead of myself. I'm going to just steal that and say, yeah, that's my daddy do for this one, because I don't have any daddy do's or don'ts.
I don't have many. Mine are very brief.
Okay.
But that actually might have been one of mine, because I literally
no, that's
did
a really good point, though, because the montages are good.
And like montages, like, so I very rarely put montages in things that I write, because I feel a lot of times like you really have to find the right spot for it.
If you can show it without a montage, it's always better, because montages can come off as lazy.
But this movie is proof that placed right in the right film, it moved things forward in a way that was really fun. It was really fun to see all her new clothes and outfits.
Oh, that's my favorite.
With that montage in those transitions. It was so
sequence.
great.
It's so good.
It's not in the script. It's
not
in the movie,
and
it's great.
The makeover thing in the script is not as fun.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to read for the Script Babies what Miranda's entrance into it is, because it's such an iconic piece.
It's so good.
So fun. Everything from the music to it's just so funny, and it sets up Miranda's character so well.
I completely agree.
So it says, so Emily gets a text and she's like, oh, no. And Andy's like, what's wrong? And it says, exterior, Elias Clark Day. A black sedan pulled. Do you want to be Emily? I'm on page 5.
Yeah.
Starting at exterior, Elias Clark Day. And I'll be Nigel. Okay. Exterior, Elias Clark Day. A black sedan pulls to a sudden stop outside the building. Interior, runway day. Emily springs to her feet.
What the hell is she doing here?
She begins rapid-fire dialing 4-digit extensions.
She's on her way. Tell everyone.
Just then, Nigel, looking dapper as usual, rushes over to Emily.
Her driver text message, her colorist has the flu.
Nigel turns and calls out to the office, man your battle stations, which the line in the script in the movie's way better.
Gird your
loins.
But I do love man your battle stations.
Yeah.
On the page, it was very fun.
Yeah. He runs down the hall, popping in Altoids and brushing himself with a lint roller at the same time. Exterior, Elias Clark Day. The sedan door opens. We see flashes of Miranda, $2,000 crocodile Manolo, Chanel jacket, perfect hair, fabulous Harry Winston earrings. Interior, Elias Clark Day. Everyone is in a high state of alert. Assistants frantically push clothing racks out of the way. Editors race into their office. Andy peers in, sees one of the editors changing from kitten heels to sky-high stilettos, sees another curling her lashes, another lining her lips, another pulls on a body shaper under her dress. Interior, Elias Clark Day. We watch Miranda, still only a partial view of her, click-clacking through the lobby in her 4-inch heels, and we see people reacting to her. Guards, assistants, and secretaries cower. Distinguished executives bow their heads in respectful greeting. Miranda maintains a high rate of speed towards the elevator. As she's about to get in, she sees a lowly editorial assistant in the elevator. He immediately leaps out. Sorry, Miss Priestley. She doesn't acknowledge his existence. Her perfectly manicured finger presses one of the buttons. Interior, runway day. Emily looks around to see if everyone's perfect. Notices Andy.
Oh my God, you're still here. Go.
Andy gets up.
No, stay. I don't want you walking past her. Just sit here and I'll pray she doesn't notice you marring the area.
Andy sits. Wow, this is like self-esteem camp. Interior, runway day. Miranda steps out of the elevator, and for the first time, we see her head-on. Miranda Priestley, in all her glory, she is stunning, perfectly put together, a white Hermes scarf around her neck. Miranda's look is so distinctive, you can spot her from a mile away. She is unlike any other beautiful woman, singularly Miranda.
I'm obsessed with her description.
Love.
Singularly Miranda.
Mm-hmm. Love. And that's how she enters. Oh, you know what? The other big change with that sequence is, which is so much better in the movie. So Miranda comes in, and then Emily immediately starts telling her what the rundown of the day is.
Yep.
7:15, this person called. 7:30, this person called.
Yep.
It's all the information you see Miranda tell her in the movie, but there's also some changes. Which so in the movie, obviously Miranda comes in and immediately she's telling Emily, This is what you need to do. This. Do we have an answer with this? Blah, blah, blah. And it's so much better because that is what Miranda would do. Miranda would come in and be like, she's not going to fucking wait for you to tell her. She's like, give me the updates on this. Da, da, da. Here's what you need to do for the day. And it also telescopes immediately how hard and fucking fast-paced this job is.
And that it's an impossible job.
Yeah.
But that you see Emily struggle.
True.
You
yes.
do. Now again,
you do.
Because you see her, because you're like anyone would. She's speaking rapid fire in a way where I was like,
confirm?
Oh. But you see her struggle in a way where you're like, oh, even Emily is struggling to keep up with this. You know?
Is it so hard to find a slender paratrooper? Am I reaching for the sky here? And yeah, the dialogue is just so much better in it too. But I wrote down
the dialogue is sharper. It's just the dialogue is
I said, oh yeah, I just said it so much better. Yeah. Anyway, it just sets up Miranda's character a lot more crisply in the movie.
I agree.
Where's your next note?
Page 11. I just thought this was cute. It says interior. McSorley's night, a dark, loud, bustling bar, one of those mix something bars you spend your 20s in. So fun. Love
that.
Love that.
Mix
love
something
that.
bars. Love.
So it was like a little humor on the page.
Yes.
You don't need, because there are times where like I'll write a scene in a bar where I'm like, we're going to spend 0.2 seconds here.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to write all the description of this bar that I loved. That this was like, hey, what the bar is doesn't really matter other than we're going to set the tone. It's a bar you spend your 20s in and it's dark, loud, and bustling.
Yeah. And you know what I love?
Perfect.
It activates the reader's imagination more because it puts them into the role of like, as director. And like you paint the scene for yourself.
It made me smile.
Another thing on page 11, I said, in the script, Andy doesn't stick up for herself as emphatically as she does in the movie after Miranda dismisses her during the interview process. I like that they made Andy more of a take no bullshit person in the movie. I also like that in the movie, they chose to have Andy start the job immediately right after that, instead of cutting to the bar like in the script. It raises the stakes, adds urgency, and gives you a more empathy for Andy since we see what an extreme learning curve she's going to have at this job. Yeah, because Andy kind of sticks up for herself, where she's like, well, I could do better. Like, I mean, you should take a chance on me or whatever. And then we cut to her and her friends at the bar.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, Andy goes back to the lobby. Then we see Emily run down. She's like, come back up. I just thought it was better.
I
It
agree.
It gets to the point faster.
I literally, my note after that was, so Nate is the real villain of this film, both in the script and in the film, with like 10 exclamation points. Like
100%.
even from scene 1, he's a dick. He's not supportive.
He's not.
And I have an old friend who had a boyfriend like this, and I remember just being like, "What is this? What is this? You really seem like you like actually like hate her."
It's weird
so
how often you see that. It's like the whole ball and chain thing.
But what's
like,
more confusing is that you're meant to like him, I think.
Yeah. You're supposed to. You're supposed to be on him and the friend's side. That's how the movie is. Even where Andy admits it at the end. Oh, yeah, I was such a bitch, essentially. His first... Did you let it go a little too far? Did you compromise your morals a little bit? Sure, but were you also put in an impossible position? Also, yeah. And I'm sorry, like, maybe I don't know. My father growing up was a surgeon and was always on call. He would have to leave on Christmas Day sometimes because a kid would get a 4-wheeler in Georgia and fucking hurt themselves on it. So I grew up with my dad having to go out and just getting used to, like, people with high demand jobs like this. That's just the nature of it. Does it mean it's okay? Does it mean that work-life balance isn't important? Absolutely not. It is. But also, a doctor's a bit different. You have to be on call.
Yes.
But this is a thing where you're in your early 20s, you're cutting your teeth, you're working for the top editor in New York City at a magazine that will set you up with a dream career. And your friends are going to fucking not understand like that. Like, bitch.
I can't. It's bothering me now.
I just couldn't imagine looking at one of my friends and being like, oh,
I know. And like, it's not in the script and I can't remember exactly what it is in the movie and it's bothering me. But literally the first thing out of his mouth to her when she sits down is like some like dig. And it's bothering me that I can't remember. It's in the movie. It's not on the script.
Oh,
he's more supportive in the script. He literally in the script says you have to start somewhere.
He is more supportive in the script.
He's from get-go in the movie. He's like rizzing her.
Yeah. He is. It's so annoying.
Yucko.
I liked on page 13, the location description of their apartment was fun.
Yes.
It's really simple. So we enter their apartment and it says, This is how it describes the apartment. It says, small with a view of an air shaft. The bed's a futon on the floor. Andy and Nate are asleep. But like, I like it says, the bed's a futon, period, on the floor, period. Like, I liked that.
Yeah,
kind
like
of like
beep, bop, boop.
Yep. That was really fun. Page 14. Oh, so page 14 is when we meet Lisa, who is Miranda's former assistant. And we see that Miranda set her up with an amazing job that any journalist person would want. I thought that was nice. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get that in the movie because it does show like why Andy would go even harder for this because she doesn't want to be in fashion her whole life. She thinks, and like, you know, but so I thought that maybe when I was watching, I was like, oh, is Giselle's character supposed to be Lisa? No, her name's Serena, but we also have no context for who Serena is. It's so random.
I also, it's like interesting that you say that because I'm like, why do we think, because like the movie doesn't ignore that she wants to be a journalist or is a journalist.
Yeah.
But it's certainly like, it is weird that everyone only references like, you've changed
always
about her and forgetting, forgetting why. Like forgetting, they're acting like she just decided she like plucked out of a hat. I'm going to work at a fashion place that's like run, like some whatever magazine that no one knows of. Like you're like, we're literally talking about top of the top and that like why wouldn't it's an interesting choice to not have her say to more people around her, like, this isn't actually about this job. This is about the fact that she could hook me up and be,
which would be actually such an interesting dynamic to see Andy say that. And then if her friends still like maybe one friend would be maybe more on her side, the other ones. And that would be interesting to explore, to show, because that is real.
And it makes you go,
when you start to change a little bit, you can't take everyone with you in this life. Like,
girl, we were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's very real. And that'd be like, if it was made today, I think maybe we'd probably hit on those points a little bit more. Maybe not. Who knows? But
and I'm also wondering, like, is it more fun to focus more on the fashion and all that stuff in general than to like keep feeding the other narrative of the story? That maybe
probably because the world, it's so energetic and fun and like supposed to feel fabulous.
Yeah.
And so cutthroat, but like. And also, since they set it up as being so fabulous, it's kind of like the dark side of it that comes out with Miranda, like being so attached to her career and everything, and putting that in front of everything else does kind of, but even that, they like touch on it, but they don't really go into it. But it almost
feels like it makes Andy more of the villain than she deserves to be.
Agreed. If she's like, I keep going back to that ending conversation with fucking
for shoes,
asshole with
bags,
Nate. Like, we're supposed to think that she did this horrible thing and that she's gone back to herself. And like, she has like, she compromised her morals with Emily and stuff, but I'm not going to say it again. We talked about this, but like, it pisses me off. Page 20.
Okay.
In the script, when Emily is showing her the book, it's like, this is the book. It says specifically that she sets it in front of Andy and Andy starts flipping through it. In the movie,
don't touch it.
Genius.
Swats
her hand away. Don't touch it. Like, I love that change.
No.
There's so many lines of dialogue that are in the movie that are so iconic that weren't in the script.
Yes.
I actually wrote a bunch of them down.
I wrote a couple of them down too.
I'll read some of them out for you. These, dare I say, the movie would not be as good without these lines. And so whoever wrote this dialogue, baby, you got it. So first one I said is when Nigel sees her. He sees Andy for the first time and she walks out. And there's two actually. It's, did someone eat an onion bagel? Like, genius. Because everyone's been there where it's like, oh my God, my breath stinks. What the fuck? 100%. Oh God. And then he looks and he goes, are we doing a before and after piece I don't know about?
They gave him so many great lines in the film.
They eat her the fuck up.
They really do.
The next one is when Emily Blunt says she had to go to the bathroom because, I don't know, she sliced her hand open with a letter opener. She now works at TV Guide.
Yeah.
Like, a great exposition that tells you what the stakes are here, but also that it's ridiculous.
Completely.
And like, again, puts you in an impossible situation.
Yes.
You can't, like, you're going to piss your pants if you 100%. Abide by these rules.
They constantly, and I do think anyone who's been an assistant, like there are aspects of being an assistant that are impossible all the time. Yeah. You are always there are many times you're being asked to do the impossible or remember the impossible. And now this film obviously is like, we dial it up where like, then you're dealing with like a monster on the other end. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the stakes are so high, whereas like that isn't always the case when you're an assistant. It can feel that way. But like with this movie, you're like, she might rip you a new asshole, but also the stakes are so high. But I thought that the movie did a better job of tapping into like, if you've been an assistant before, just know they tapped into the humor of certain moments where it's like, you're asked a question about something that was like 3 months ago as if you should be like, know at this exact second, in a way that, again, it's all very human, but relatable and kind of funny and whatever. But one scene that I almost like wrote down, but it's so long. We talked about it. I alluded to it earlier. The sweater scene, the blue sweater scene.
I was just going to that
page. The blue
page.
Sweater scene is good on the page, but it is iconic, incredible, should be studied forever in the film.
I will say that that scene on the page is actually
meh.
It's total meh.
It's total forgettable.
I want to read it for the Script Babies because I was like, people got to see what this was and what it became. So this is what it says. It says, okay, so they're going through the run through or whatever. And it says, she grabs a skirt off the rack. Andy watches her. Miranda, this has sequins, but it's denim. It's of no use to anyone. We need to give women clear choices about, and to Andy, what are you looking at? Andy, me? Nothing. Miranda, you think you're above this, don't you? We're talking about skirts and you're smirking. Andy says, I'm not smirking. Miranda goes, inside you're smirking. And now the room is totally silent. Everyone there has had this happen to them at one point or another, and they're just grateful this time it's not them. Andy, no, I'm not. I'm not above anything. That's my motto, I swear. Miranda, and here's the monologue. She says, you see that droopy sweater you're wearing? That blue was on a dress Cameron Diaz wore on the cover of Runway, shredded chiffon by James Holt. The same blue quickly appeared in 8 other designers' collections and eventually made its way to the secondary designers, the department store labels, and then some lovely Gap outlet where you no doubt found it. The color is worth millions of dollars and many of jobs. She smiles at Andy, who quakes. Your superior attitude is not acceptable at this magazine, in this industry, or in my presence. That doesn't skew as someone who has power.
No.
That skews as someone who's threatened as fuck and has to be like, you're a little bitch. You don't like this.
And in the movie,
her expertise comes out.
Her expertise comes out.
Depth of knowledge.
It's incredible.
It's so much better done. And it also sets up Nigel's expertise perfectly when she goes, do you think it's like he's like the LaCroix from September? I thought that, but no. He's able to just instantly reference it.
And I thought the film... such a smart choice that the film made is they show you multiple examples of how symbiotic their relationship is.
Yes,
Nigel
really
and Miranda,
sweet, actually. Where
you go, the betrayal is so much worse because you go, oh, they're very close. And like she trusts him, he trusts her, and he's very good at what he does. He's very skilled. They did it so organically in the movie, and I thought that the script lacked it, where it was like you still felt bad for Nigel, but like in the movie, you really also Stanley Tucci brought something. He really did bring something to Nigel, where he kind of could play those things where he's kind of saying assholey things, but you still love him because you're like, oh, he's just whatever. But like I thought that the line read of Meryl going, why is no one ready?
Another line that...
Why is no one
the movie wouldn't be as good. That line read, though, like, again, to throw it away and, like, to have annoyance like that.
I went back and watched it again because I was like,
scarier.
This is... But also just... And you're like, you know why no one's ready? Because you called them all in.
You've had
early.
Hours. Wait, hours means 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But... the way, because again, the power of throwing that away. Why is no one ready?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. But yeah, no. So we don't have the exact thing of what she says in the film, but she gets so specific. And then what's great about it, she uses the exact tone or like shade or whatever. And then she literally says, the people in this room, you think you randomly picked that, selected that.
You're
but like,
exempt from this, but yeah.
But like the people in this room are like made choices that led to that. Like it's good on so many levels. She hits her with expertise, but then she also hits her with like, you think you're above this, but literally like we influenced you and you don't even fucking realize it.
Yeah.
So like
when Nigel's like, it's art, but it's more than art because you live your life in it. was like, well, some people do.
And I do think
like,
the choice.
And that's actually a really fun kind of perspective about fashion.
It is, because here's what I'll say. Like, I feel like sometimes with fashion, I have an interesting like relationship with it. And I feel like it's always changing too, where like, there've definitely been times in my life where I've really felt dismissive of like high fashion and been like, oh God, like blah, blah, blah. But then I will say, like, specifically, we've all had our own journeys with fashion and clothing and all that stuff. And I will say, like, postpartum, I have had a totally different like take on clothing, and just really, really, really noticing the difference in how I feel with the clothes on my body, of just being like, getting like, not owning as much clothes that I feel completely benign or even kind of like ugh about.
Yeah.
I still have some of that clothing. Like, I'm still kind of figuring it all out, but like, I've had so much more fun, like experimenting and going like, I feel like in the past I'd be like, oh, I don't wear that. And now I'm like, but I want to see who I am when I wear that and decide later.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I want to decide later.
I want to see who I am wearing that. That is spot the fuck on.
That's really been like my mantra lately, that it made me enjoy that aspect of this film more, where yes, this goes obviously into a completely different world. They're taking it. That all can be argued. But that being said, like, I do think it is easy to be an Andy and dismiss it and go, clothes are clothes and da-da-da-da-dee-da-da-da boo. But at the same time, like, it is another form of self-expression.
It's one of the, I feel like, I mean, again, I'm going to wax poetic about this, but it can be a very important form of self-expression, because, I mean, think about in terms of like a job interview or something. You're going to dress different for that than you do going to the grocery store, because it's the first impression that you're going to make before you even open your mouth is what they're going to see. And you are kind of going to dress the part for that, or like an actor with auditions. You'll literally dress the part for the audition.
Well,
but like as a form of self-expression, it is such a beautiful way to show this is who I am without even having to say anything.
Yeah.
And it's also a way that you can, like, as a gay person, has history to it too, where you can indicate parts of yourself that's a secret code for other people. They see something and they know, oh, and like you can find community that way through it, which
100%.
is really fucking cool.
Well, and like a layer that I've realized recently, and again, I think me many years ago might have poo-pooed this or had a judgment on it, is I have realized, like, in all of the ups and downs, specifically a lot earlier in postpartum, like my son's almost 2 now, and I feel fully back in my body, fully myself, like renewed, all of those things. But that being said, even now, most days I will notice a difference between the days where I get up and get ready for the day, even if I am predominantly home. And I don't mean like full glam, but I mean put an outfit on and not stay in sweats, because a lot of times the day that I know I'm going to be home, it's like a predominant like home parenting day, whatever. I'm dragging differently. I'm whatever. Yeah. Whereas, and again, that's no shade. That's no shame, because again, some days baby wearing sweats all day is what the doctor ordered.
Yeah.
But as far as mentality goes, I have noticed like the ritual, and again, not like the discipline, the ritual, the dedication of self to go, I'm going to choose my outfit today as a form of self-expression and in a reminder. I'm like, I'm that bitch today.
Yeah.
I'm showing up for me, and I might not have a lick of makeup on, but I'm wearing a shirt that makes me smile every time I see it, or I'm wearing jeans that I like the way my ass looks. Yeah. And so when I walk by a mirror, I'm like, hey girl, whatever it is. But like that alone, where you go like the power of clothing.
The power of wearing an outfit that you feel good in. Bitch, you can't fucking touch me when I feel good.
No.
Like when I think I look fucking good, bitch, it's the best. It's also interesting because there's psychology behind it too, of like, there's one strategy for if you're trying to, or maybe it's a tactic, I don't know, where they say, like, if you're struggling to find motivation to work out, just put your running shoes on.
Yep.
Because your mind associates that with it, and then pretty quickly you'll be doing some sort of workout or whatever. Who knows how long you do it, whatever, but like there's psychology behind it. So what you're saying about like, you know, the days of wearing, I mean, I mostly wear sweats when I'm at home and stuff, but I've had the same thing where it's like, I want to feel good. So I'll put on, I have certain clothing items that are like, these are like my clothes that I go to when I need to like make myself feel better.
100%. Yes.
It's cool.
It's cool and it's real, and it's and I feel similarly about scent too. Like if I need And we've talked about this, like with writing,
best.
sometimes if I need a little inspiration to like sit down, I'll like put perfume on because I'm like, oh yeah, like it's inspire the senses. You know what I mean? Like that,
Absolutely.
that I did that aspect of this film. I was like, you know what? I liked her monologue even more because it was a way to go, you don't have to be into all this the same way we are, but for you to act like you're above it is a whole other thing.
And then later, after she fucks up the like getting Miranda home from Miami thing, and she goes to Nigel, and that monologue that Nigel has to her, and at the end of it, he perfectly buttons it up where he's like, you know, this magazine means a lot to other people, and then he references like, oh, say like to a young boy reading it under his covers, like pretending that he's going to soccer practice or whatever. Obviously referencing himself. And then he looks at her and he says, because the place where so many dream to work, you only deign to work. And you wonder why she doesn't give you a gold star and kiss you on the forehead at the end of the day. And it's like, abso-fucking-lutely. Like, because granted, it's a toxic work environment that's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. It's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
But this is an institution that has far-reaching implications beyond just you having a shitty boss. Which is so beautifully put in that sequence.
I completely agree.
Let's see.
Oh, a couple lines while we're talking about lines. I don't know if you wrote these down. The other gorgeous, stunning montage in this is when Miranda, they keep cutting to Miranda and entering and throwing her jacket in first.
It's the best.
The two lines that truly got me, because again, it felt so like if you've been an assistant, like it's funny, but it's also accurate.
Yeah.
When Miranda comes in, throws her jacket, throws her purse. Where's that piece of paper I had in my hand yesterday morning?
That type thing is literally happening because Script Babies, if you don't know, I'm currently an assistant. I've been an assistant for a bunch of different people for years. Carly's also an assistant too, so we know this world. And it's so true.
I literally cackled, and then her other one was, "Get me that little table I liked at that store in Madison."
Yes.
No more details, and then she just was going, "Get me that little table that I liked at that store in Madison." Like they really now again, Miranda is over the top. No one here is pretending that they work for a fucking Miranda, but I thought that montage was brilliant because it was just once again that kind of the ridiculousness of a position where you're like, that is often.
That's absolutely what I've experienced that in multiple different jobs. And you don't know how hard it is to be an assistant until you work that job. It is so difficult. And you really have to be on all the time. You have to fucking remember different fucking things. But like, I'm to the point now where like, if I don't remember something, I'm just like, I don't know. I'll work my best to fucking figure it out, but I don't know.
What did you think about the difference between in the script, Nigel is chomping at the bit to give her a makeover. And in the movie, he's like, not annoyed, but he almost has to be convinced.
I like it way more in the movie because it makes Andy an active participant in it.
Agree.
It's the first time you see Andy's like, okay, well, I am going to give this a try. And I liked it better because, it's like Nigel's a busy man, so why would he be just dying to make her? It just works much better. That was my next note. I said in the movie, Andy decides to do the makeover on her own terms, but in the script, it's Nigel that's encouraging her. I like the choice that they made in the movie to have her be a more active participant in her makeover. It indicates that she's chosen a path and is willing to change herself to fit in better, which is a slippery slope there because, But again, we never fully see her personality change, which I think that's to really hit it home that she
that's a really good point.
That she lost her way and has made it back to center to then go be like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I did, I did forget about my friends and family. We never see her personality ever change. If anything, she feels guilty about it every step of the way. And it's telling Miranda, I can't do that.
Well, and further to the point of what you're saying in the movie, because in the screenplay, they kind of did your slightly stereotypical, how do we raise the stakes, give the dad a heart attack.
They did.
They took that out of the movie, and I think the movie is better for it. Because
it was cheesy on the page.
In the script, it just felt like, oh, we're doing this so that we can once again show that Andy is choosing her.
Lost her way.
It was like, how many more times do we need to see Andy just keep doing
it? By the way that they first set it up is like her phone is away from her. She's hooking up with Christian on a bed. Her phone's away from her and her mom's calling her. You're not going to fucking see that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was getting fucked, Mom. Like... I'm not going to fucking see my phone. So it's like, but then granted, she doesn't go home from Paris after that. But it's like, also though, in that situation, if you're her, are you just going to throw away your fucking job? Maybe you would. You probably would if your dad had a heart attack to go home.
But I think that's why they pulled it, because it was like, it felt, I think they pulled it because it felt too sloppy, and it felt like the way that the movie was done and edited, it was enough. I think the movie leaned into Andy seeing Nigel's heartbreak.
Yeah.
And then hearing Miranda say, "You did it to Emily," was enough for her, on top of all the other guilt she felt, was enough for her to be like, I'm out. And
it also, that I love that Miranda throws that in her face, because she knows she forced that decision. And then because
you're like, it's actually not the same in any shape or form.
It's so fucked up.
Because you're like, Nigel's working for you 100%. But it, again, in the movie, it allowed Andy to be more active in her choice.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the script with the dad, it's like, now it's like, it felt like it just made her decision like messier. Like, is it, you know what I mean? Like it just.
Yeah. Also, so another thing with the dad, it did make her decision messier, having the dad have the heart attack and stuff. It just wasn't necessary. They also don't fully follow it through. It's like it's mentioned twice, and it's just kind of nothing burger, because it doesn't heighten anything. It's supposed to, and it doesn't.
Yes, it's supposed to, but it doesn't.
Another change with the dad, though, is when she has to get Miranda home from Miami. Another impossible position to be put in. So in the movie, everyone knows Miranda's like, I got to get home for my daughter's recital, and it's a literal, actual hurricane. You're not getting out. It's impossible to fucking tell your assistant, you've got to get me out of here. That's just, it's genius, because you see all the ways Miranda's crazy and out of touch, and what Andy's having to scramble to try and keep up with. In the script, the stakes are taken completely out of that, because Miranda's like, my flight was canceled. There's no storm. There's nothing. Her flight was just canceled, but there's so many conferences in Miami that she just can't get a flight out. You could get a private jet. At Miranda's level, there are people that Runway would have connections with. You might have to leave at 2 a.m., but a private jet can be waiting for fucking Anna Wintour at any point if there's not inclement weather.
And they kind of lean into that in the film, where she's like, someone has to have something, but you're like, that's not the actual means of flying is not the issue. It's the weather.
And then the way she drags her across the coals the next day over it, rips her new one, calls her fat, all because she gave her an impossible task that no one could execute. When in the script, it's like, okay, you didn't try hard enough, because you went and you turned your phone off and you went into a Broadway show. When it's, find a train, get her home.
Right.
Like, again, it's shitty. It's last minute, whatever. But also the dad being so not understanding in that moment also pissed me off, because I'm like, maybe you would feel that as a parent, like you want to, you want to help your kid in that situation. But like, this is her new job. Like, I hate how everyone around her is so not understanding.
Well, and it felt like a strange choice to not give a little bit of diversity of that in it, where you go like, why not have one of the characters root for her a little more?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, almost be the trustier witness to go, hey girl, I'm here for you. I'm getting a little nervous about some of this, but like at the same time, and I do feel like if it was done right now, you would have that character.
Yeah.
You definitely, I mean, again, this was done many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I do think if it was done now, you would have a character that speaks to the middle a little bit more, which would make it a little bit more relatable, where you'd be like, oh, that's the voice of reason here.
Totally.
Where you're going like, you've got that friend that's like, I support you. Like, you're in your 20s, like, girl, whatever. But also,
could be Doug out of any of our friends who would do that.
Doug is a weird character, though. Can we talk about that?
Yes, because
is he gay? Is he not gay?
I've always wondered it, and I was thinking, oh, well, I'll get clarity on this in the script. Spoiler alert, you get no clarity. And in fact, they keep saying, it's just like in the movie where they're like, oh, you're scaring me now when he starts to name designer name. Oh, why are you scared? Because he might be gay. And then even at the gallery, when Lily's like, I have someone I want you to meet. And he's like, art and sex. Oh, how great.
And they're like,
who are you introducing him to? Not that it matters, but they keep telescoping that this guy's gay.
Well, and then also he goes, let us not forget, when he goes, I'm actually a girl.
Yeah. And then in the script, he wants to like smell the perfume. And she's like, you can't smell that. It's called pink. It's for women. Okay, bitch. Fuck you.
Doug, for me, I was like, I don't know where or what to do with you.
No. but he's the only person that says, I love your job, even though it's in the context of him getting free shit from her. But he's the only person that in his backwards way
But he's not a trusty,
then,
like narrator in any way.
No,
like
at all, because then right after that, he's stealing her phone saying, oh, I'm going to answer it and being an asshole to her. And they piss me off so fucking much. Sorry. Are you going to forget it if I say it though? No. Okay. It's my next note.
What's strange about it is I feel like if they had allowed the friends to not be so hard on her, you would have maybe actually sided with them more.
Yes!
But because they're so hard on her from get-go, it made me go, even in the moments where you are supposed to be like, ooh, Andy, I found myself going, you don't have anyone behind you.
Yeah.
That I feel like that is an interesting thing where you're like, if her friends had been a little bit more supportive, I might have actually been a little bit harder on Andy, which I think we were meant to be.
Yes, we were definitely meant to be because, again, that ending scene. But yeah, no, but that's actually such a fucking good point because because then we would see that her friends are supporting her, yet she's still choosing to do, like, again, she's in impossible situations, but we needed to see her personality change. How many times can I say it?
That's a really good point, though. Her personality does not change.
It doesn't. But I love that point about the friends. That's actually a fucking great note.
And that Nate.
That's a great daddy do too.
That is a great daddy do. Like have at least one friend that we relate to and is saying the things we would be saying. Yeah. To some degree. A more balanced perspective. Because then it actually heightens whatever you're meant to be feeling about the person's actions.
Yeah.
Ooh, now I'm like thinking about that.
That's good.
Thinking about it.
That's good. That's a daddy do.
That is a daddy do. We just found one. We were just like,
yep. That's how my daddy do's are going to come out this episode.
In the
fun, conversation. Though. It is kind of fun. I like it.
Also, maybe to take it one step further, because why not, is play around with, ooh, I'm liking this, Colleen.
Give it.
Play around with what influence your peer group or the people around your characters are putting on the character.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like, do a pass where maybe they're not as supportive? Do a pass where they're super, like, play around.
Everyone's been in that situation when you're really excited about something and you tell it to your partner or a friend or something or a sibling, and they aren't matching that energy, and that skews you because then you're like, oh, should I be as excited about this? Yeah, no, that's good.
Dare I say we found a good one.
Was that good? Daddy-do.
A
daddy-do. Number one.
This is the first time we found one in the wild.
Yes!
Or did it find us?
It's a feral daddy-do.
Ooh!
I love that. I really, really love that. That's fucking good. That could be a good social media clip too. Okay. My next note is another great example of heightening the stakes for Andy when she's first dropping off the book. It's very different in the script than it is in the movie. So in the script, she finally, again, the lead up to it is different. So in the movie, it's so much better because we see Andy does that thing after the James Holt review where Miranda's like, I'm going to need a change of clothes at this next thing. She's like, oh, I've already messengered it over. And you see, like, because that is a fucking power move. That's true anticipating needs, and which is the ultimate goal of an assistant. And Miranda's like, fuck yeah, bitch. I want you to bring me the book tonight. In the script, Andy doesn't really do anything above and beyond extraordinary for Miranda to start believing her or to start trusting her enough to do it. She just, Emily tells her one day, hey, you're going to take the book. And it's so much better than the movie because Miranda's telling it to her. And that's the first time Miranda calls her Andrea and not Emily. All wrapped. It's so gorgeous. It's like such a beautiful package.
It really is.
You've done it. You've made it.
Yep.
You're in.
Yep.
In the script, it's very thrown away. And then, Emily tells her everything you got to do when you drop the book off. And when she gets into Miranda's apartment in the script, she's sitting there. She's like, oh, what hook do I put the dry cleaning on? Oh, what table? Same kind of setup. But then one of the daughters walks out holding a violin. She points to a table to put the book on. Yeah. She's like, oh, thanks. And then behind the daughter, deeper into the apartment, there's a living room that she can see a sliver of. And that's where she sees Miranda and her husband talking in there. And
same interaction.
Same interaction. But then the husband just looks over and glances her, which, like, the stakes there are so much lower because she's going there to drop it off anyway. You have like this view of the entryway right there, like she's just bad timing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, the daughters play a trick on her and have her come upstairs.
Okay.
To have her enter the home and go up the stairs. Again, Andy's a fucking dumbass for doing that. You would never do that, actually. But the stakes are so much better because she goes up the stairs, and when Miranda sees her, the look on her face, the look Meryl Streep gives her of anger, shock, horror. Oh my God. It is.
It says in the script,
perfection.
it's like the most intense look she gives her in the whole movie. It's intense. I will say though, I was like, I'm sorry. This woman has worked this hard. Andy's worked this hard to get to this moment, and she's being tricked by the daughters to come up the fucking stairs.
You're right.
No, she's not. There were so many movie moments in this, and as I've said, if you're a friend of the pod, you've heard me say many a time, every movie gets 1 to 2 for me, and I won't say shit. This movie has about 5 or 6, where it's moments where you go, that doesn't track with who she is at this point.
It really doesn't.
In the beginning of the
so
movie,
real for that.
In the beginning of the movie, yes,
yeah.
At this point in the film, no way.
Yeah,
especially because the daughters are not selling it. They're like, you should,
yeah.
Not to mention,
Emily does it all the time, so she does. Oh, yeah, no, she does.
Not to mention, Emily says, listen to me exactly what I say.
Yeah.
She never says, and maybe go up the stairs. She says, you put it there, you go. That there was a part of me that was like.
Pay me to go up those stairs, bitch.
I was like, I was like, there's no way. Andy would have risked putting it on the wrong table, but she would not have risked going up the stairs. She would not have.
Agreed. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, actually, so in with that in mind, the script version may have actually worked better because it does show
the
how
impossibleness of the job.
Exactly impossible because that's just wrong place, wrong time,
and you're still getting
right
punished.
Place, wrong time. You're where you're supposed to be. It's just and then you're getting punished for something that you didn't mean to do.
No, that I actually
I'm
preferred the script. Yeah,
switch my tune on that script, babies.
Because if the message we're supposed to be getting here is that her job is impossible, the script version does that. Whereas the film version, it is more like, Andy, you're an idiot. Why would you go in Miranda Priestley's upstairs? Literally. She could be in a robe.
Into her home. I would look at you the same way. What the fuck are you doing here, bitch? That is a
interesting. Okay, one thing I wanted to add was in the screenplay. There's a whole couple pages, but like one full page of just Miranda talking when she sees James' new line.
Oh, yeah.
And she races over there and she says, not today, honey. But really, she says, what she really says is a full page of dialogue. And I thought it was such an interesting exploration
a couple pages
of her. It's a lot. Now, granted, I get why they didn't keep all of it, but I did find myself going like, we did get to see a slight, once again, her expertise and also her passion for what she does. That there was a part of me that was like, oh, I wish they could have done like a really like synthesized version of it, because it showed like 3 different layers of her at once, where it was like, at first it just seemed really fucked up that all of a sudden on a dime they were going to like this designer's showroom, no notice. Everyone's like, oh my God, when she shows up. And then she like skewers him. She's like, "What are you doing?"
But
like
with love.
This is
very lovely. No, She's so it's scathing, but very
starts where we're like, "Here we go." She's being a bitch, but then it's like, "I have supported you from day one. I have put myself out there for you. I am saving you."
Yeah.
Now again,
it's on page 51 in the script, baby.
Yeah, it's 50 to 52 is the full thing, and if you do read it, I would recommend reading it just because it's interesting. Again, I get why they didn't keep the full thing, but you think she's skewering him, then she lands it with actual passion and being like, "I'm saving your ass here." Like you're going in a place that does not all this stuff, whatever. She shows her skill set. She shows how much she's invested in this guy.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he thanks her. And they leave, and I thought it was a really powerful scene. Whereas, like in the movie, it's like they make it kind of cheeky, and like if she does the nod or she does the this, and it just didn't have the same feeling that you had before, where you're like, oh, we once again get to see her expertise and her passion for what she does, not just her like brutality of it all. That it was like, I thought the movie's version definitely tonally fit the version that was in the film. Like I got it, but there was a tiny part of me that kind of missed that we didn't get to an opportunity to just see a little bit more of her in that kind of middle ground where it's like, she's not just a bitch. She is now, granted, I kind of feel like they put a little bit more of that into her scene when she tells Andy about the divorce.
That's what I was going to say. So the reason I don't miss taking that
'Cause
out,
they
and the
kinda
reason
put
I
it
think
there.
it's actually necessary to take that out, because like I said, Miranda comes off as almost sweet at times in the script. And to show that would be to show vulnerability there. They would show that she has a soft spot for people. And the only time you see a soft spot come out for Miranda is at the very, very end when she gives the reference for Andy.
Yeah.
And that's indirect. We don't even see her do that. And then we see her smile in her sedan at the end.
Yeah.
But then cut that right with, so genius. And that works better because it all plays into that kind of pinnacle moment where it's like a splash of cold water where you see Miranda, the real Miranda, battered, beaten, broken. You see that this does take a toll on her, that the people's perception of her when she's saying like what they're going to say about me. Oh, the dragon lady runs away another Mr. Priestley.
Yeah.
That scene is so powerful because you're seeing the emperor has no clothes. Well, no, that's not actually the right thing. You're seeing like the peek behind the curtain. And I think prioritizing that scene is way more important than showing that she has a soft spot for the artist that she has spearheaded.
But you know what's weird is like, now I'm wondering, like when I read it, I didn't even necessarily think soft spot. What I took more from it was that she cared, but that more so she isn't kind in how she says this to him though. Like everyone is kind of like she does skewer him, but she
kisses him on the cheek
at the end. Yes. But I thought
beginning
it was
and the end.
Oh, okay. But I think it was more so what I liked about it more than anything was that Andy got to see that even when this woman like went into a monologue a whole page long, that you're expecting the designer to be like, get out of here, fuck you or whatever. And he's like, thank you. Like it is shocking that he thanks her a little bit because it at least to me, it read in a way where it could go either way. You could have a designer be like, who do you think that like, I know it's Miranda.
He
I
knows
get all
he
that.
adds, he knows he owes her whole career to her. They make that very clear. Yeah. In the script. But way more than in the movie. They make it clear that
it feels like they barely know each other in the movie.
It does.
But no, I know what you mean. It would have maybe been a little bit. I feel like I wasn't focusing as much on that. But now that you say that about like the kissing on the cheek and stuff like that, that is an interesting point.
We only see her as this monster until we see that no, this is a real person. Yeah. But then immediately followed up with she buries it down. She's like, well, we got to get back to the seating arrangement and like in that.
Do you want me to cancel your night? Why would you do that? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that this is all she has. All she really has is her.
Very true.
Career, and that's what she prioritizes above all because that's her main relationship.
It's true.
I have two more notes.
Okay.
Page 94 and then page 106, 108. On 94, I just said that I love that the line "by all means move at a glacial pace." You know how that thrills me. It was in this script.
It's so good.
It's so good. And then my note was that to see her in the movie for that first time broken works so much better for me.
It was very good. It felt very deserved and like, that Script Babies, if you read the script, that monologue is very different from the movie to the,
it's very much kind of thrown away. The stakes really aren't there with it. Like she's not, she's like upset, but not as upset. It's interesting.
And also like in the, Andy doesn't say anything other than do you want to take the night off in the script? Whereas in the movie, she's like, I'm so sorry, Miranda, because Miranda does divulge more where she talks about her daughters. Like she's like, I don't, people can say whatever they want about me, but like it's my daughters all that stuff. Like you really do get a little peek behind the curtain there. Yeah. And I liked that you also, because I like that Andy never loses the part of her that is willing to take Miranda to task, like in a way that no one else will.
It's true.
That like, in the same way that while I found other times that I felt like Andy, like her going up the stairs didn't feel real to her, it felt weird to me in the script that when Miranda, again, way more downplayed monologue, but it felt weird to me that Andy wouldn't be like, try to say like, I'm so sorry or something, that in the movie, I thought it was way more satisfying that she at least tried. Like that this woman did open up and that Andy wouldn't be like, she's a monster, I can't. She was like the human Andy. Again, her personality doesn't change. She's still the same person that's like, I'm so sorry.
Exactly. If we want to show that she's lost her way from her emotional center, let's see her, I don't know, be a bitch in that moment or something.
Or just say nothing. But in the movie, I love that she just is like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Or like to have her be the one to suggest like, you can't cancel your night over this. You got to keep going.
100%.
Just would have played better. My last note is that, you know, the reveal of Miranda fucking over Nigel is so much better in the movie because in the script, it gets kind of bogged down by intercutting between Miranda giving the speech at the but like the celebration for James Holt where they're going to announce that Nigel is the creative director. She intercuts between that and then how she saved her own ass by going to Irv and giving him the list and all that stuff. It's just handled much better in the movie because it was almost a little confusing to be doing that much back and forth. It took the power out of the moment.
It's almost confusing in the movie. Yeah, almost.
Well, when you're sitting there and you're expecting, I remember the first time I saw that movie, and when she says Jacqueline Follier and not Nigel,
your stomach sinks.
It is literally heartbreaking for Nigel, and then he just has to fucking keep going because you kind of get the sense that this has happened to him before. And yeah, that's just much more powerful story. It's
way more powerful. I did write down from 96 though, where I just realized that I did like this description. When Miranda opens up to Andy, it says, Miranda walks back over to the window without a word, looks back out over the city. Miranda, do you know where I grew up? Andy shakes her head. Couldn't be more surprised by this conversation if they were both on fire. I thought that was a really great
That is really good
description.
Also, I forgot that in that scene, you learn Miranda's backstory. Script Babies, do you want to know what Miranda's backstory? Tell them what Miranda says, where she grew up and who her dad was and all that.
I have it right here. Pearl River, New York, right on the border with Jersey. Cultural highlight, the Nanette Mall. My dad owned a tire store. But Pearl River is only 30 miles from Manhattan on the Palisades Parkway. I grew up reading Runway, Elle, Vogue, sneaking in New York to stand in the back of the shows, soaking it all up.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of like the girl who was obsessed with fashion, who saw this world that she was not a part of and was desperate to become, you know, a fucking mogul within it. And she did it.
This is slightly random, but I just saw my note. I am so glad that they added with the Christian storyline his interest in her writing. Yeah. Because what is it with the even Nigel's better in the movie. The men in this script, and again, you're not like, what's going on with the men in this script?
They suck. They fucking suck.
Like, now granted, Lord knows there's a version of Christian that exists that is solely about getting in her pants, doesn't even pretend that he's trying to read her shit. But again, it made you empathize with her a little bit of why she continues to engage with this guy. Yeah. It's not solely because he's just this hottie-boo-toddy, but that he did reference, I'd like to read your stuff. And then we find out later she did send him the stuff. And then he references it where you go like, sorry, but if this is her goal, which she's still sticking by, she sent him her stuff. Mm-hmm. She didn't forget because she lost herself to fashion. Like, it was another added layer.
I think that Christian did read her stuff and was showing interest into her only to bring her further in to get into her pants. Agreed. Ultimately. But it plays in, again,
to her.
Exactly. Yes. And it's so much better because you see, like you said, why she's continuing.
Yeah, I don't think it made Christian anything more, but it made you understand a little bit more why she wasn't just being like, fuck off. Like, totally. And it wasn't just because he's hot. You know what I mean? Like because if it was just because he was hot, that would be a huge personality change, which she does not have. Wow, you really nailed it with that. I also thought the addition of Nigel telling Andy in the movie was better. Like that he's going to get this job, how long he's worked for this. He's going to get to come back and actually spend
to go to Paris and actually see Paris.
Once again, those are gorgeous stakes. Those stakes were
so bad for Nigel.
Those stakes were not in the script with Nigel. They weren't. Nigel is good for like some lines here and there, and like, but the heartbreak of Nigel does not exist in the way that it does in the film, where again I think the Tooch brought a lot to it, but also they indulged his character more
on the page.
What?
On the page?
No, in the movie, I think. They gave him more where you go like, we see his relationship with Miranda. We see him saying to Andy, like, I can't wait to come back here and actually enjoy my life here and all this stuff. And then it's like, rip.
I also like that the way Stanley Tucci played a gay man was so much more grounded, whereas on the page he did come off as more stereotypical cliche gay with some of his dialogue and stuff. But the Tooch, baby, well, obviously the dialogue upgrades and the dynamic upgrades for Nigel as well, but the Tooch, he plays such an honest portrayal of a gay man to the point where I was so fucking shocked to find out that he was straight.
I know. And I think because of that role.
Also, Stanley Tucci's so hot, dude. I can't. He's so cute.
People love the Tooch.
Girl.
I like Tooch, but there is a tier of Tooch loving that exists outside of me.
Tooch loving.
My last two notes are, I hate that in the movie it's implied that they're getting back together, Andy and Nate. That is not implied.
Leave Nate in the dirt.
That is not implied in the script. It says maybe friends. It says like in the description, like maybe they could be friends. In the movie, we hit you over the head with her groveling to get back with this turd who makes burnt grilled cheese.
Literally. I fucking hate it.
But then he says like, I guess maybe it's not. Doesn't he say he gets a job somewhere else and then
in the script, Nate gets a job in San Francisco.
Oh, you're right. But in the movie,
and he applied to jobs in San Francisco because he thought that Andy was quitting her job at Runway because she couldn't get the Harry Potter manuscript.
Also,
and then throws it in her face that like, oh, well, you're not going to San Francisco with me.
Also, by the way, when she says she's quitting and he's immediately excited, I'm like, that man does not love you.
No.
He hates you.
He
wants
to
own you. He makes you burnt grilled cheese.
Yeah.
And my last and final note is, oh my God, Andy got bangs. She's a normal person.
To be fair, she had bangs throughout the whole thing.
No, they buried them differently though. She literally goes like this, Colin, in the movie. When Miranda's looking at her, she goes like,
well, she's entering Miranda's apartment. She takes the hat off and she uses her bangs so she does, because Miranda doesn't want to see people wear hats, is what I gathered from that.
Oh, I just felt like, you're right. She has bangs the whole time, but she's like, I don't know how to explain this to you other than like.
They're frumpy bangs.
They're like frumpy bangs. They made it like, it was so much more
they're
obvious.
They're not bangs, they're bongs.
Yeah, because she's got like these gorgeous layers in the like throughout the movie.
No,
whereas like all of a sudden it's like this like thing, and
also you go from like finding she's able to dress really cute and finds her own fashion sense, and then she's back to like dumpy brown leather and like
and then it's like I'm giving all my clothes to Emily. I get that it's supposed to be like sweet.
It is sweet,
but at the same time I'm like, bitch. So now you felt good in those clothes, and now we have to say you can't be a real journalist and like still wear clothes you like.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. It's kind of the old school girl boss feminism take on things.
I just slapped
We're like, to be taken seriously, you gotta dress yourself down.
Yeah, the ending this time, baby, it did not quite hit for me.
No, I agree.
Felt a little when it was so obvious that they're trying to set up that like Andy is trying to get back with Nate. I was like,
yeah, it really pissed me off.
You want to get back with that?
No.
I would have preferred she tried to hook up with Christian again. At least like go get yourself some. Like he was a turd, but like again, you're like, I don't know. I don't actually mean that. I don't think, but you know what? I don't know.
I agree.
Like go have fun is my point. If you're gonna do something, go have fun. Don't go get with a guy who doesn't like you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
exactly.
My daddy do's are so brief. My daddy do is set the tone and pace as soon as possible. I felt like the script did do that very quickly. Like you hit the ground running immediately.
Yeah. In
the same way that you do in the beginnings are different, but like the feel of the hitting the ground running is there immediately. They put you in the world very quickly.
Yeah, you do.
And my other one was like, this isn't even the best example of this, but I did think like experiment with action. Like the ones we listed in particular, but like as much as we were saying there were times where it didn't feel like there was a full voice in this. Then there were other examples where I really did like some of the choice of
Love the
action that was a
location
little bit
descriptions.
outside of the bare minimum of how some people cut and dry or whatever. And my only daddy don't make boyfriends or partners. So one note, oh my God, I hate Nate.
Yes.
But honestly, that is actually a legitimate note in general. It is so easy to make the partner, boy or girl, whatever, so one note. And I truly think it does a disservice to an entire story when you overindulge in one character, like our lead, and then you make the partner so one note. Like, because then it bleeds on to the other person, where now I like Andy less because she's settling for such a one note guy that I'm not rooting for their love story at all.
Yeah. And if you are doing that, then show that it's one of those shitty early 20s relationships, and show that when she meets up with him, just to make things copacetic, if he tries to get back with her, she's like, no, we're good. Because in the script, it ends with them. It says they find a place where maybe they can even be friends.
Yeah, maybe they can be friends.
And I really liked that.
Same.
Because I was like, that's real.
Yeah.
We're like, you can keep things like, you're going to San Francisco. I'm going to be here.
100%.
Yeah. Andy, girl, dump his fucking ass.
Get rid of him. So that was The Devil Wears Prada.
The Devil Wears Prada.
I really was harder on it than I realized.
What do you mean?
I just, weirdly, reading it and watching it, I didn't think that like in this episode I was going to be as hard on it as I was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love the movie still, but it's just watching it with today's filters.
Yes.
Different experience.
And just being older too, I think. And like having experienced more in the world, in relationships, in the working world, all that stuff. It was just interesting with friendships, all of it, where it's like, it just made, and again, also I think too, with just like the eye of like, from a storytelling perspective of going like, oh yeah, like there's a lot more movie moments in this where we kind of have to just like look past it. And again, it is such a watchable movie. I'm going to watch this movie many more times in my life. It's wonderful. It's a great film.
It's so fun.
It's just more so for the sake of what we're doing here, which is like breaking down story and stuff like that. There were just a lot more moments than I thought there would be.
Like you said in the beginning, don't pull the strings of the sweater with this movie. You can't, because it is such a movie. And also, if you're in your 20s and you're listening to this and your friends or your partner are giving you shit just because you changed your wardrobe, fuck them, leave them. Those aren't real friends. They don't love you.
If you were watching this movie and you thought, wow, Nate reminds me of my partner, run! Run, don't walk.
Put on Minority Report, skip all the way to the end and see Samantha Morton go, run!
Oh, she ate that.
Literally ate.
All right, well, I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. See you next time.
See you next time, Script Babies.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Script Daddy. Script Daddy is executive produced and hosted by Carly Casey and Colin Moretz, with additional production assistance from the incredible Scott Simmock and our amazing sound mixer, Ryan Fee. Our artwork was done by Josh Alvarado.
If you love Script Daddy as much as we do, please tell your friends. Follow us on your preferred podcast platform and give us a rating and review. It really, really helps. We love you, Script Babies. For all inquiries, please email scriptdaddypodcast@gmail.com.